Hey, it's Inez, and I'm back with another family favorite. Today I'm going to be making chocolate chip granola bars. Better get my apron on and get started. So I just need some oats, some chocolate chips, sweetened with some honey and some brown sugar, a little splash of flour, some baking soda. To that we'll add vanilla, some olive oil, and that's pretty much it. It'll just be in here, and we'll bake it in a very greased cooking pan, a 9x13. So I've already put everything in the bowl, and I've started mixing it up. Now I'm going to add my wet ingredients. It calls for a teaspoon of vanilla, but I like to add extra vanilla, so I'll do 2. And then it's a half a cup of olive oil, half a cup of honey. And remember, the recipe will be at the end of the video, so if you forget the quantities, don't fret, it's at the end. Now I just kind of evenly pour this around, and don't laugh at my honey, but I have a paper plate sticking to the bottom of it just so it won't stick to everything else in the pantry. So just a half a cup of honey. We've been doing this recipe for years, and I kind of go with spurts. So I've been doing it probably for, I don't know, 5 to 8 years. And I make them for my kids' lunches. So they love them. They're really easy to make. I wrap them up individually in saran wrap, throw them in the freezer. So when they're making their lunches, they can just grab one from the bottom of the freezer drawer. And that's definitely one thing that I like, that I'll do a lot, is make these kinds of things for lunches, because I don't like to buy granola bars already bought in the store. It's just me, because I can taste all those preservatives. It's weird. And I also don't buy gummy or fruit snacks unless we're traveling as a special treat, because they have a lot of sugar in them. And my thinking is if you're gonna have a lot of sugar, you might as well just eat the candy. So, or the baked goods that I like making a lot. So I like to do that. So I'm just gonna mix this through, put it in the pan, and get it in the oven at 325 for exactly 20 to 25 minutes. This one you don't want to get too crispy on top, because then it makes it a little harder to get it out of the pan, and I'll show you that too. So I have everything here mixed up as well and as evenly as possible. I got that oil and the honey all mixed through, which is good because you want that sweetness to get through all of it, and the oil to get through all of it, and that will help. So I'm about to get it into the pan. Like I said, I sprayed it liberally with the cooking spray because it will help get it all out as it comes to a full bake. So just kind of press it into it. It doesn't have to be perfect, because when it comes out, I dump it out on a a cutting board, and I quickly start to mold it to kind of condense it to make it more like a brick. I'll show you. But I just kind of want to get it all into those cracks, into the edges here. Not the cracks, but the edges. And I think it's ready. 325 for 25 minutes. I just took them out of the oven. You can see there's a little bit of a crisp. They aren't burnt. There's no crispy edges, and that will help it to come out a lot easier. So the next part is kind of trial and error, but it is the way that I make them, and don't laugh. So I just put a cutting board on top of it and flip it out. And I like to do it while it's warm, like just out of the oven warm. So that's why I want to use the pot holders. And you're probably thinking, well, why don't you just let it cool in the pan? I have, and I didn't like the way that they turned out, because I like them to be like a condensed granola bar. So I will scrape the pan, get whatever I didn't get out, put it in the spots, and then I use my hands to form it. And you know what I put on my hands? This is the funny part. I just use baggies, because I don't want my hands to burn too much, and I want to get a good, I don't want them to stick. Not that the baggies make it for my hands burning, but I can work fast and get a nice like cube, like a brick sort of sorts. And so I just kind of condense it down and get it to the shape that I want it. Nice and condensed, like a granola bar right out of the store packaging, but made in my kitchen. And here it is, all pounded out the way I want it. It's not too thick. And all I have to do now is let it come to a complete cool before I chop into them. So it's gonna take some willpower to not want to cut into these. Although if you put it with some cold ice cream on top, it won't matter if it's warm. So it's really up to you. And here they are. I started to cut them up into bars. I don't know if you can see that, but my boys can't wait long enough. So we don't have much willpower here. So I thought I would just let them have their little pieces. So they're probably a little too soft right now to wrap. Oh goodness. Got my taste testers, right? They love it, right?
I love
them. He said he was going to say they weren't good. But what do you guys think? Good. They're great for lunches. They're great for desserts. And I'm so glad that you stopped by, got to see a little glimpse of our crazy life. So what should we tell them? Should we say, watch my mom and see what she's rolling out next?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch what I'm rolling out next.